Yeah, I'm good.
Pretty good?
Yep.
It's Lieutenant Dan McGrath, M-C-G-R-A-T-H, Metro Homicide. About the time of the call was about 12:13. Citizen called in to report a male who was covered in blood outside the apartment at 5070 Palo Verde. Officers responded, and the male was not outside. They were directed to the first floor apartment. They heard what they thought were some, screaming and rustling around. Based on the information they had, they forced entry, and the male was covered in blood. They removed him from the apartment, and not too far away from him, there was a white male in his 60s who appeared to be deceased. And also inside the apartment, they found a female in her 40s, I'm estimating 40s, also apparently deceased, and medical confirmed they were both deceased of what appears to be blunt force trauma to the head. That's preliminary. That male was detained, and he is currently at the headquarters building with homicide detectives.
Is that third guy that you're talking about the one that was originally outside? Did he make his way back inside? Was he the one that they got a call about that was striking people with a bat?
He is the person involved, and he is the suspect. He has been detained. I didn't get briefed that if somebody said he was striking people with the bat. So, but he was the person who was covered in blood. I did see him. He was pretty much covered in blood. So he was detained by the arrival patrol officers. And this is a good example of our patrol officers doing their job, doing a really great job. What was an emergency? They went into the apartment, they detained the suspect, they protected the crime scene. So it's a good job of patrol that often goes unrecognized.
What was the murder weapon?
That's unknown right now. Blunt force. There was a baseball bat mentioned, but I've been told we're getting a search warrant for the apartment, so homicide detectives have not been inside yet. But one of the good things about body cameras is the officers that did go inside under the emergency, we can view their body camera so we can see what they saw. So there was could be, most likely it's going to be the baseball bat, but it's possible it could be a hammer. There's some other items in there, so I can't definitively say what the murder weapon is until that's determined later.
What's their relationship, the three of them?
We believe they are possibly roommates. The two people that are deceased may be husband and wife. The male may have been staying there temporarily. The preliminary information was that he had been kicked out of another apartment and he had been staying there recently.
Any motive?
We haven't spoken to him yet, so that's yet to be determined if he's willing to discuss, talk to us. There may be some drug use involved. That's the motive. I mean, if he's willing to give us a statement. There's only a few witnesses, one who called, and then, we only have two witnesses. So I haven't been briefed on what the statement is. One of them will still be an interview when I come up here.
When police were called, did they hear the women and the man, the wrestling going on inside?
No, they heard rustling inside, and based on the description and covered in blood, it was apparent there was some type of emergency going on. So there may have been mention of a baseball bat in the details of the call into dispatch. I haven't heard that yet. Usually they'll send that to me and I can listen to it, but I haven't listened to it yet.
And you said there's other items like a hammer.
There's other items inside there that could possibly have been used, but the baseball bat was mentioned. But definitively say that was the weapon used to kill both of them. I can't really say that.
And the person who called, was that a neighbor?
Yes.
Was the suspect injured at all, or was
It's probably some of his and some of theirs, but some of the scrapes and some of the could be skin problems. I don't know if there are scrapes but he had some blood on him, on his shirt, which may be from them. That's yet to be determined. But he did have some minor abrasions, I would call them. No major injuries.
Did he appear to be under the influence?
Not when I saw him. No.
Does he have any criminal record or past?
I don't have that yet. I want to say, he's a white male, about 50. I don't have his criminal history yet. That's something that the crime analysis unit, they'll send that to us along, and they'll get me the recording and all that too. So I'm just going to give you They may have mentioned he did, but I don't know what he said to me.
And
Any prior
oh,
history
sorry.
in that house or in the apartment?
I don't have that yet either. Something's going to have to come in the research from the crime analysis unit.
Both victims were white.
Yes. Yeah.
All three
Male's
are
in the 60s. They told me they say the female they think is about 40. We don't have her like her date of birth and all that. And then the suspect, he is about 50, and they are all white, from my understanding.
And were the two that were the man and the woman, unfortunately, who were killed, were they a couple or married?
Yeah, it looks like I don't have the marriage certificate, but they have the same last name. They're male and female. Good.
Anything else?
Now we're gonna call. We're probably if they're roommates, it's probably we're gonna call this domestic violence since they're all living together. Until I find out differently, we're gonna call this domestic violence. Since they, once people living together, that fits the statute, domestic violence or roommates living together. So
Any drugs found inside the home?
we haven't been in yet.
Oh, that's
So
true.
just the preliminary, that was obviously the major thing. Any drugs would be a secondary issue. One of the neighbors mentioned there could be some drug use.
Which could also be the lesions on his arms.
Right, yeah. You don't want to speculate, especially talking to you guys. I don't want to speculate because then I look bad when it comes out differently. But he had blood and he had scrapes on his legs, but some of them look like scabs to me, so that could be indicative of something else, drug use or skin problems too. Good.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
So.